So easy doing this work.
Here we are. 7 o'clock.
It's 7 o'clock.
Cool.
I would like to
Where's your microphone?
shoot. Of course, none of you could hear me just now. But I would like, Good evening, world. I'm Ashley Morgan.
And I'm Justin Morgan.
And welcome to our last Unglued Live during our 11th annual Unglued Craft Fest.
But first, this is indeed not the end of the fest. You have 3 hours left to shop your handmade heart out during our virtual fest shopping day right now.
Woo!
Ashley, tell me a little more about the virtual fest that's going on until 10 p.m. tonight.
I would love to, Justin. You got it. Head to ungluedcraftfest.com, and right at the top, we've got a link to get you to all the crafty fun. There's a promo code a bunch of makers are using, which is Unglued Fest 2021. You can also shop by category, maker, or even local pickup to the FM area. And after you've shopped up until 10 o'clock tonight, be sure to enter the giveaway on the virtual page for the epic virtual handmade haul. Each person you shop from is an additional entry to win.
Wow. You guys blew us completely out of the water in the past 2 days over at West Acres Shopping Center. I imagine some of you might be soaking your tired feet from all that shopping. So now is the perfect time to kick back and snag some one-of-a-kind crafty goods in our virtual fest. You could be relaxing in downtown Fargo or Dover, Delaware. Wherever you are, get in. It ends at 10 p.m.
Well, tonight is our special closing broadcast here at Unglued Craft Fest. We're just going to briefly recap our fest day for just a bit, and then we will be diving in to our closing craft time right here from the news desk for those of you who are joining us for How to Gold Leaf Anything. So this video will show up as like a 30-minute video. But for those of you who aren't gold leafing, you're only going to care about the next couple minutes. That's cool.
Have some fun.
Yeah.
Well, and since this is the end of the fest, I think it's time that we write some thank you notes.
Oh, yes. I agree.
See if they'll hold the mic for me. Here we go.
Yes.
Okay.
Here's your thank you notes.
Thank you very much.
Here's your pencil.
Good.
All right. Here we go. Thank you, West Acres, for taking on an event with us that involved a crazy amount of very weird emails as we figured things out together.
Thank you, Afternoon Mall Walker Man, for forging your own path, even when it goes directly between Ashley and I talking 2 feet apart. You were one of our favorites.
Thank you, Unglued Crew, for doing snack laps with our red wagon we originally bought for horse poop when we did that parade that one time with a unicorn floaty.
Thank you, summer camp friends. You joined us from Texas, California, and a windy Mexican beach and almost lost your hat for us.
Thank you, makers, all of you makers, for tolerating approximately 10,000 emails between an in-person and virtual market and COVID safety information, and still choosing to stick with us for the wonderful weekend ahead and crushing it.
Thank you, coffee, for literally everything.
Thank you, myself, for not realizing you've been using a snap filter during these Unglued lives and made our faces look both equally amazing and slightly terrifying, and deciding to not change it even after you realized it for consistency.
Thank you, security guard Phil, for being as excited about cinnamon rolls as we were.
Thank you, instructors, Instagram takeoverers, studio demoers, and beyond, who shared their creativity even to totally blank Zoom screens like you were completely alone, but in real life you were with 45 people from somewhere in the world watching along and participating with you.
Thank you, sponsors, West Acres, FMCVB, Jasper Hotel, and workshop sponsors Baker Garden and Gift, Plains Art Museum, and Crooked Lane Farm for making magic happen in our FM community.
Thank you, shoppers, for clearing the shelves of our local makers and artists this weekend, and hopefully tonight until 10 p.m. through the virtual market.
Whew. So many things we are grateful for. Now, be sure to watch for our... Oh, there we go. Okay, now you can hear me go. Be sure to watch for our fancy blog recap in a week or so with photos from our Unglued crew and our amazing photographer, Morgan Schleif.
Well, I know one thing I've got to do as soon as we teach gold leafing next is shop my own heart out because my shopping list is long and we've got just 2.5 hours, no, 3 hours left of the virtual market here at Unglued Craft Fest.
So I'd say now is a great time to transition to some gold leafing.
It is.
Ashley, why don't you show us how to gold leaf anything?
And now we transition to workshop instructors. So welcome, people, for your gold leaf time. This is your how to gold leaf anything time. I would like to acknowledge there's like 30 to 40 people who I think might be participating or rewatching this at some point who have an actual kit. And so you guys are already set. But we also want those of you who are like, after seeing this, wow, I really need to gold leaf. We really want you to also be aware of how you could do this and the supplies you should have. And so bear with us as we dive into the workshop portion of our evening. For those of you, let me show you the projects. So this was our promo photo, was using a ball, not a mall ball, mason jar. Where we did a flower potluck and everyone gold leafed an entire ball jar. This is one of my favorite projects to do because they turn out really freaking cool. But other things you can do with gold leaf, and I'm going to show you this because you obviously need an object to gold leaf when you decide to do this project, if not right now, is I love doing terracotta pots. You can do some gold leaf around the rim if you want to. You could do stripes on here. You could do little brush strokes to make that happen instead. One of my other favorite projects was our New Year's retreat we just did virtually, where we only added gold leaf as like an embellishment to some things. On the side here, you can't really see it, but that is real gold leaf and not just a paint pen. Real gold leaf is in copper and zinc, which we'll talk about in a minute. If you do art, we've had our instructors in the past, I was going to say recent past. These are actually from quite a while ago. We did late night craft parties where it was abstract paintings. I think it was an Alice in Wonderland Mad Hatter party. And you can add gold leaf to paintings. And this I believe was one that I kind of did in a way that I don't know how to very much paint, but I still loved how it turned out. Or add gold leaf to your acrylic paints. You can also do things like the clock that Justin has there. He's going to show you. We haven't done a lot of it. This was just for starting it out. You can add gold leaf to things you already have at home. People do it to their light switch. They do it to old things out of their recycling bin. Like you could take a tin can and add gold leaf to that. You could do a votive candle holder. And we've done a concrete moon-like pot. And so you can see how gold leaf can just be added for tiny little embellishments here too. And so you don't have to totally plaster things with gold leaf like Justin did during the New Year's retreat, but you also can. And so if you're participating tonight with us, you're thinking about, where do I want to add my gold leaf? I see some examples here now. I'm thinking about if I want to maybe add stripes, if I want to maybe completely cover a mason jar with this or not. And so the supplies you need are your gold leaf. So this beautiful little flaky stuff. Craft gold leaf is typically made out of copper and zinc, and it's pounded, I believe, to 1 molecule thick. It's not actual gold, otherwise that'd be really expensive and hard to experiment with.
I mean, you can get real gold leaf
yes,
too.
You can.
But
yes,
this stuff's shiny. And
yeah, that'll do. Babe.
That'll do.
Yes. And then if you got the kits, our free kits from our shop that we had, you can go ahead and take your gold leaf out. It is very flaky and it's going to want to like break up and that kind of thing a little bit. Just be careful with it. Don't sneeze super hard. You already have a paintbrush. You can use a foam brush instead. We're going to be using these little paint brushes. I'll give you that one.
Oh, to do my whole clock.
And then you need your gold leaf adhesive. If you got our kits, it's just this little tiny paint pot, and you can't really see how much is in here, but this is way more than enough for Justin and I, and it's about a quarter full or so. And so you can open this up. If you're doing this right now with us, you could even cut off the top. I think I'm freezing, but we'll just keep rolling with it.
Feels good.
You'll open it up, try not to dump it out because where gold leaf adhesive goes, it stays. It is very, I mean, you can use rubbing alcohol and things to get it off, but you're trying not to get it on surfaces you don't want to get gold leaf itself on eventually. You can cut off this top to make it a little bit less tip overable. Welcome to the words when I teach something. And then optional things you can have are paper towel to sop things up, which we've got here. And you could have something like masking tape on hand or painter's tape. If you want to do something that's more like just a stripe, you can tell how we have this really nice straight edge on this. This was just a strip of tape that we put around and took time to do that really carefully there. And then you take that off at the end of it. And so if you want to create something like that, you certainly can. Last example here is we've done little concrete bowls, and this is where we taped off like a triangle inside of it. Just make sure if you are doing the taping, you press it down really hard so that you don't get adhesive underneath the tape, and that's where gold leaf will probably need to go because it's going to stay sticky forever. And so think about where you're putting your gold leaf on the object that you have. I think you're going to work on the clock. And I think I'm going to do, I should have thought about this, huh? I'm going to work with a more porous surface. And so I'm going to keep working on my bowl. And so you might need to add more gold leaf adhesive if the surface is not porous, like Justin's clock, or glass, like the mason jar. If it's like porous, like a terracotta pot or concrete, you might need to take a little bit of an extra step and add a little bit more adhesive because it's going to soak in just a little bit. Ultimately, there are 3 steps to gold leaf, and that is why this is technically a super short thing to do, but takes a fair amount of time to do because you need patience once you do the steps. Number 1, you add your adhesive where you want it to go. So anywhere you want your gold leaf to be, you're going to apply your adhesive. Number 2, you're going to wait. You're going to wait at least 30 seconds to 1 minute until your gold leaf is actually tacky, or the adhesive is actually tacky and it sticks to your knuckle. So we'll usually kind of check it with our knuckle to see if it's actually sticky. And the last step, the 3rd step, is apply your gold leaf. And that's it. The hardest thing about this whole thing is waiting. The most frustrating thing about gold leaf is if you apply the gold leaf too soon and your adhesive is actually just wet, or if it's a porous surface like concrete or terracotta and you never actually get it to be sticky and you try to apply it then too, then it just doesn't do anything. It gets all over the place. And you end up with a little gold manicure, which is kind of fun too, you know? And so go ahead. If you know where you want to apply your adhesive, you can start applying it right now. I'm going to start applying it to the inside of my bowl. If you have a surface where you're going to be doing a lot of it, or that it will dry, tacky, clear. And so sometimes I'll forget when I'm doing something like my bowl where I actually applied the adhesive. And so I'll need to kind of be doing a check with my knuckle to see. And so if there are those of you actually participating with us right now in doing this, I would love for you to type in the chat, what are you gold leafing tonight? Is anyone doing it on with us? I would love to know. If not, no problem.
Because we had some kits go out, right?
We had like 40 kits go out.
Yeah.
And there's no instructions in them. Yeah, because this is one that's a little bit easier to see it done. When you apply your adhesive, you're ultimately going to wait for it to get clear. And so if you're applying it, yes, I would definitely clean. Good idea. I would clean your surface if it was dirty. If you had dust on a jar that you're using, if you took a can out of a recyclable bin, then just rinse it under water. Just really get it kind of nice and cleaned off. Nothing crazy. I actually don't usually do that. These projects that we're doing right now, we didn't clean, but that would be a good idea. I love that you're doing a terracotta pot, Sherry. So when you apply your adhesive, if anyone else is doing some, please let me know what you're doing. If you're applying it and it's super cloudy, you're trying to at least not let it be drippy. Because if this adhesive drips, you're going to eventually want to apply gold leaf over that drip in something like a pot or on that, unless if you can really get the adhesive off, which is frustrating. And so I applied mine here. You can't really tell. I applied mine down here. You can maybe see right here, it's a little bit cloudy. I know it's not going to be done until I can't see it anymore, until it's clear. And so you got to wait. Or that's when you use your paper towel and you sop up just a little bit. Gold leaf adhesive, well, Justin and I are kind of waiting now for ours to get tacky. Let me just keep telling you more facts.
Facts.
I like to say facts. Technically, the adhesive that you're using here will stay tacky forever. You don't want to apply it.
I've been going a while.
Okay. Did you check it?
Okay.
You have to check it. This is where it gets frustrating. Is it? So check it with your knuckle, not your finger, because your finger will then get sticky with gold leaf and then you'll get it everywhere. So you're doing it with your knuckle. Does it actually stick? Like stick?
Nope.
Then it's not right yet. I know. And we don't want to blow the gold leaf off. So if you have a cocktail, go ahead and take a swig of your cocktail. If you have some tea, just chillax with your tea after, just people say chillax, after you have applied your adhesive. And don't touch it with gold leaf until it is tacky. I do see I probably have terrible internet. I'm very sorry for anyone who's watching this and like, this is annoying. So right now I'm checking it with my knuckle, only because I don't want to get the stickiness on my finger because then it's going to stick to my gold leaf like crazy. I'm still seeing a little bit of cloudiness. So I'm like, let's just chill, let it dry. So it is typically longer than a minute that I'm going to wait, but sometimes it can be. So where I was going with that, it's tacky forever, is you could apply your entire inside of your bowl with gold leaf adhesive if you would like to. And you can really take your time once it's tacky to apply the gold leaf because that will stay tacky forever. Yeah. If anyone has questions right now, please let us know in the chat. I bet I'm not on 5G. Oh, I am. Just kidding. Well, it should be fine.
It's probably fine.
It's probably fine. Okay, so I'm still checking it. It's not sticky at all. So I'm still just going to hang out. Oh, but it's getting sticky down here. That's great. Hard to tell on terracotta. It is. And so if you're doing it on terracotta or concrete and it's like not feeling sticky, add a second layer of adhesive and then chill for just a little bit too. I found that the last time we did a little bit of terracotta or gold leaf with AAF, and I found that once I did a second layer of adhesive in a thing and on an object that's porous, that actually helps get it sticky. And so we're trying to have patience. So we're applying the gold leaf adhesive where we want the gold leaf to go after we've taped it off, if we wanted to tape off a stripe or something. And then second step is we wait. If you want to know what Justin and I are drinking while you wait for your gold leaf to get sticky, why don't you tell them, Justin?
This is Ritual Zero Proof Alcohol. We've been
Ben Brick Living the Dream collab mug.
Yeah. So this is Ritual Tequila, which I've tossed into like a jalapeno pineapple Coke thing. So like a jalapeno pina colada. It's pretty tasty.
We are not an ad, but we have really much enjoyed this Ritual Zero Proof Alcohol on nights where we didn't want a real cocktail. I mean, you know, I digress. So I'm still like, are you tacky yet? Please be tacky. If you're doing a porous surface, a little bit more frustrating, you gotta wait a little bit longer. Maybe apply a second layer. If you happen to be doing a surface like a mason jar, or like Justin's clock, basically, then just start to check it. This looks funny, but I'm checking to see if it's tacky. And if it's actually sticky, then you can start applying gold leaf. There's a certain part right here that is sticky, where my knuckle is sticking to it. And so I'm going to go ahead and just show you this next step in case you're like, good Lord, just keep going. And so I take my gold leaf sheet. If you're not sure yet, just wait a little bit longer to see if your adhesive is going to get tacky. It will get tacky, or you need to just apply a little bit more. You can rip off a little piece of gold leaf, and then you can put it down where your adhesive was sticky. And what I like to do is I apply a little piece there, and then I start to tap it down. And I tap it a little bit. I tap it into the corner. I tap it flat. And then I like to use just any of the pieces that fell off. I totally touched it with my fingers, so it's going to be sticky. That's fine. But I do love to keep reusing all of the little pieces of gold leaf that are falling off or flake off. And I'll start to apply them to other spots. And I'm getting stickier over here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tap it down. And tap it down onto here. And one thing you could do if you're like on a surface like a glass ball jar or a clock like Justin does with the plastic is if it's really not seeming sticky at all, go ahead and tap it with the paper towel if it just seems wet. Regular glue, in theory, does not work with gold leaf. And because you actually don't want the glue to dry. And if you put the gold leaf on something like Mod Podge and Elmer's glue or that kind of thing, it's just going to slip all over the place. And you could potentially put it down on that kind of regular glue and then just kind of tap it down and like fully let it dry, and that might work. Technically, it's meant to be used with just metal leaf adhesive because that'll stay tacky and never dry, and that's what helps your gold leaf get really nice and flat. But I'm all up for like playing around with things. You'd think by now we would have tried. So now there is an area that I applied a second layer with my concrete pot of adhesive, and now it's actually sticky, like it's legit. You can hear that? That's actually sticky. Please let me know if you guys have questions as you're doing this too. And if anyone is like, why am I tuning in and they're doing gold leaf? It's because it's our closing craft. This is our closing craft for the night. And we had some free kits that people were able to snag. They're really cheap for $4, where you got your gold leaf and you got some glue and a paintbrush, and then you have an object of your own to do. And so because I've waited and I've added 2 layers of adhesive in on this more porous, soaking up my adhesive kind of surface, now it's actually legit sticky, and I can start to tap it on. And then I love working with gold leaf because it's just so like fun and rippable and flaky. And after you just kind of get the vibe of it, although everything you do gold leaf is a different surface, comes with a couple different issues with it usually. It's really fun. But you have to like relax a little bit when you do it. So you don't do it too fast. So now I'm going to apply another big chunk of this to the inside of my bowl. And it's stuck there really nice. You can see where it's sticking up, but where I press down my finger, it's sticking there. And I'm just going to keep tapping that. And that's kind of sticking now to that adhesive in there. And I do have pieces that are going to flake off that aren't on an actual sticky surface. And so then I start to flake that off and get that excess off, which you could actually start doing. Do you want to show the world what you just did?
So I adhesive the entire perimeter of my clock all the way around. So now I can go on with like nearly complete sheets and lay them right on there. So I'm going to try this guy.
Yeah, so if you are doing a mason jar, I always rip the gold leaf just because you're going to end up adding different little pieces anyways as you do it. But people like Justin love to do it in full sheets, which is also really good and really nice to work with like that too. And so you can see he's applying it to where it was actually sticky, waited for it to get sticky and tacky. And if you are working with that porous surface, maybe add a second layer and let that get tacky, and that should start to work. And I'm going to apply another piece that I ripped on the inside, and I tap it down. And then eventually after it's sticking, and it'll flake off of the surfaces that it's not, there is an actual adhesive underneath it. But I can kind of tap this down, and then I just get a little bit more vigorous with it. And then I just smooth it out. So you're going to have lots of little flakes and specks as you do this, like that aren't sticking to a surface because you didn't have adhesive there, or maybe you just didn't get it there. And so eventually I start to be more rough with it because it will immediately really stick to this when it's actually ready to go. So all of this right here is new that I just added. Directions are hard on here. And then if I'm like, I really wanted it to go where there's like these little holes here, then all I need to do is either use my paintbrush or foam brush that already had some adhesive on it, and maybe it has enough, or I just redip a teeny tiny bit, and I'll put a little bit more over that hole or that area that I just couldn't get gold leaf to stick to on the inside of a space for whatever reason. But then second step, I wait. And I do not apply gold leaf until it actually feels sticky. And then I apply gold leaf.
Done.
And then I flake it off. And then I call it good. Now let me know if anyone's like, this was a mistake. Why did I do this? Because I can guarantee you, usually the most time you work with gold leaf, you're going to be frustrated. We start a lot of people off often by doing this class, which is doing agate coasters, where we add gold leaf just to the edges of this. We don't tape it off or anything. We just add the gold leaf to the rough edges, We love getting these from the Crystal Rock shop in Pittsburgh. Also not an ad. We use a lot of the same things over and over again.
Yeah,
So maybe we could become influencers someday.
Find the good stuff.
Yeah. And this is a very hard surface to work with because it's uneven. There's little crevices and everything. But you just work patiently and you can turn out to be these really fancy projects that you buy for like $40 at Anthropologie or West Elm, but you made yourself because you're amazing and can do. You can also work with silver leaf, which is fun. What would you prefer, silver or gold?
Ooh, I love that. Like that variegated. You get like the rainbow colors in it.
Oh, yeah, that does exist.
Yeah.
Yes, everywhere, guys. And then you can also use copper leaf, which you can kind of see. Nope, you can't. It just looks like I'm showing you a bag of tissue.
Look at my bag.
Look at my bag. You can also get copper leaf, which is really fun too. It kind of has that rose gold look that is so popular. So popular, guys. But I hope that we'll stay on for a little bit to troubleshoot anything with you. But I want to tell you about sealing. So some people seal things with gold leaf and some people don't. I'm in the camp of people who don't often do that. Now, gold leaf there is a specific sealer for gold leaf, just like with the adhesive, that kind of helps not take the shine away so much. But it does, to me, dull it a little bit. And so if I don't think I'm going to be rough with something, like it's a vase, it's a terracotta pot, it's not going to be hitting other surfaces very much or that kind of thing, then I don't seal it. I just let it be. But if I was going to let this, once I kept working on it, be a catch-all, then I maybe would want to seal the inside of this eventually. But you don't have to. And so I still have gold leaf left on my finger. I just want to hang out for a little bit longer in case anyone has questions. But you guys are winning. We're winning. And then you're going to go shop local makers.
Till 10 p.m. Ungluedcraftfest.com. Find the bit.ly link to our vendor page.
Do it. I would love to know if Sherry, if it still is awful right now with your terracotta pot, or if you're still here, or if your mason jars are working to do this with. Biggest thing, apply your adhesive where you want it to go after you've taped off a stripe or that kind of thing if you want to do that.
Wait, I know the second step.
Yeah, do it.
Wait.
That was good. And then third step, apply your gold leaf, either by ripping it or laying out a whole piece in one spot. And then we don't really call this a step, but then you flake it off, get all that excess off, and apply any extra areas that you need. So what if you were going to put the pot outside? Would you seal it? Good question, Mary. I would say that if it's going to be protected, like underneath an awning a little bit and not going to get super wet, I would say you wouldn't need to. Now, if you are going to put it on a pot that's going to stay outside and you want it to be more weatherproof, then you could even get a spray sealer and just like spray it. And there is a metal leaf spray sealer that you can use instead too. That will help it a lot.
And I don't have any direct evidence of this, but it may patina nicely. I was going to say that too. Yeah, if you don't finish it and put it outside, you might get like a little...
Lexi has done a candle workshop.
Yeah.
Where there's concrete and gold leaf with it. And it's in the back of the workshop room, and it does patina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that's, something you don't mind, I think it'd be kind of cool to see your gold get a little weathered looking.
Got it. You guys, these are the basic steps. So just not enough glue for the rim. If you actually ran out of glue, we can hook you up.
Yeah, we have so much glue.
Well, we don't because it arrived and it was curdled. So, okay, be careful when you order things on the internet. We've gone to the same source over and over for bulk gold leaf adhesive, and it came curdled, and we freaked out for a craft emergency second so that we could get all these kits ready. And anyways, their supplier does not have them anymore in the large pots. Oh, but they do sell a super thick gold leaf adhesive. And so Sherry, for our purposes with concrete and terracotta pots, I had no idea that there's a type of metal leaf that is a super thick type. It's literally labeled as super thick.
Sure.
So and it's meant for surfaces like this,
surface.
Which I've never seen in my life before, but there it was. And I think that could be the answer. But if anyone is running out of glue because you are doing a larger project, we can hook you up because we had a few that we were able to save out of our curdled adhesive. That was fun to talk about, wasn't it? Yes, that's what the chunks are. And so we are pretty sure it froze on its transport area here. And so we actually had to siphon it out because there was no gold leaf left at Michael's or Joann's or any craft shop in town even. It was like a true craft emergency. And if you see me when I freak out about something because we need to get it to the people that are going to be crafting with it, we figured it out. Michaela like siphoned it. Anyways, long story. But yes, can I put gold leaf on placeware and seal it? Would it be food safe? Ooh, on foodware. That is a good question. So we have only gold leafed the ends of like a cheese board where we're not going to be eating off of it, but we will be eating off like the wood part. And that's been really pretty. Or we've added it around the edge of a charcuterie board.
Yeah.
But like the handle of a cheese board can turn out really cool like that. And that's worth sealing.
I would say by itself, probably not a good idea, but sealing it, I would just look at the label and see if the sealer itself says it's food safe or not.
And we've used this, somebody will need to Google this to double check, but we've used shellac to do, and that's made of bug parts.
Yeah.
And that is food safe.
I don't, okay.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, the internet says it's
I
food
don't
safe.
want to eat off of it.
Well, you are, because we have something that's with that. God, it's a class we did with sealing design. I'm pretty sure at Thunder Coffee that we used shellac. So basically, if you find a food safe sealer and put it over the gold leaf, it should be fine then. I just wouldn't leave it in water or that kind of thing. Just like wipe it off. We have not troubleshot that ourselves, I would say. We've just done it on edges of foodware that's not going to be really eaten off of, I guess. That is a legit question. Yeah, just like the edges though. Yes, but yeah, sure. You're winning tonight because you got the one with the chunks in it, and you're doing a porous surface that gets a little trickier to do too. But it turns out so cool. I just start to lollygag, dilly dally, just like Katie Miller's T-shirt when I do gold leaf. But what's fun is the longer you wait, the easier it'll be to apply to your tacky surfaces.
That's not tacky.
As it's not tacky. I was too excited. So yes, if you're doing a porous surface, just add another bit. Well, you guys, we're coming up to a half hour of this live that, it is also a workshop, so that's legit.
Yeah.
If anyone has last questions about your gold leaf time, I would love for you to let us know right now. And if you need any extra supplies, you just let us know. We can hook you up. We are a craft shop that doesn't sell craft supplies, but we have craft supplies. And yes, let us see your picture. If you have issues, just apply a little bit more adhesive, let it get tacky. If it's absorbing it too much, maybe try the super thick adhesive that now we know exists. But really doing a second or third layer of adhesive will help too on those porous surfaces. And then let it kind of brush off. And as with all craft projects, we judge things super hard as we're doing them. But you wake up the next morning, you look at it again, and you're like, I'm amazing. Look at this thing I made last night that I thought looked super dumb. Consistently, that is how I feel. And craft is also a little bit about failure, so you can keep learning to troubleshoot things and work with it, and it really translates to real life, doesn't it?
Wow, coping skills.
It teaches a lot of skills, but there's not the pressure of that. We just want you to like make things with your hands and try new things.
Give a TED Talk.
Do I say this now? I once gave a TED Talk, and TED wrote an advisory on it that she is not a doctor and she's talking too confidently for what she spoke about. And I was like, in what world? Fair. I was a nurse, so I maybe said things like I was a healthcare professional at one time. But anyways, I have never reposted it because I was kind of embarrassed about that. But I feel like telling you 13 people that are on right now about that. So if you're like, wow, life is weird. Well, imagine going to this talk you've prepped for 6 months, clicked on it finally half a year after it was posted to the world because you couldn't have people watching it, and you see disclaimer, this person's too confident, and you're like, TED X, I'm so sorry. I should have known that could happen. I was too excited about craft.
Yeah.
I was just talking about
that's probably.
Yeah, thanks.
Sorry.
Okay,
have a great night, everybody.
I just want to catch anyone else if you have questions, but basically your now goal is to keep that you should keep adding Gold Leaf right now to whatever you're doing. You can shoot us a Facebook page question if you have questions, or an email to the email that you would have gotten this from too. And then you should keep shopping the virtual makers market. It goes until 10 o'clock tonight. Oh, we should end it like a newscast.
Oh.
So world, this is your chance to shine. You have 2.5 hours left. Yes, you should wash your brush when you're done. If you want to use it again, it will stay tacky, so keep using it for Gold Leaf purposes, but yes, wash it.
Totally reusable.
Totally reusable, especially in the glue world. You have 2.5 hours to shine and go shop those 55 makers that have crafted up quite a storm for you of their amazing wares. What are you going to do the rest of your night, Justin?
I'm going to make some walleye fillets.
That sounds amazing. Well, you store your glue by capping it off with your little lid top, and it should last you technically forever as long as it stays airtight, and you can keep using it for Gold Leaf projects. And if you think of anything else, I'm happy to answer them too. But for now, I'm Ashley Morkin.
And I'm Justin Morkin.
And we are coming to you live from Unglued Craft Fest. And you stay crafty, world. Till next year.